Hello, everybody, and welcome to another game from the 2025 Return of the King Invitational. We're in the semifinals, the second set of the semifinals, and this is the premiere game from Priceg335 and TheFatHobbit. So, if you haven't been keeping up with the tournament, I would highly encourage you to go back and watch the first several videos as I explain the rules there. Short version, you have to crown Aragorn round 1, and this is a preset action dice set. Words. Okay. Pardon me. The Free People, which is Price, has started with Challenge of the King, which is really fun for a Return of the King tournament, and Scouts. These are actually some pretty serious starting cards. Red Arrow could even be used on Rohan really early because you're going to activate Gondor with a crowned Aragorn. Shadow has Denethor's Folly and Grond. Wow, those are some good cards for knocking on the door of Gondor too. So that's a great starting hand for both players. We begin. Free People Price begins and has decided to bring Boromir and go the route of Minas Tirith. Unless he crowns in Pelargir, he could still do that. Shadow brings in Saruman. An Elven Ring is spent to get the troop to Minas Tirith. Barad-dûr to Gorgoroth, and some serious problems with the dice. And Gorgoroth to Morannon. Okay, I like that. That's fun. Okay. Crown Aragorn and Gorgoroth to Minas Morgul. So tipping a hand pretty strongly that you're going to be coming towards Gondor, but that's fine. Fastest first round commentary in this tournament. Oh wow, another Scouts and a heroic death. That could be quite the boon for Minas Tirith. I really like Spirit of Mordor, but it's probably not gonna have an effect. Day Without Dawn, and give it to us. Some good cards for Shadow, not particularly useful in this moment though. Free People are Fellowship's okay. One eye allocated. And one more rolled. Pretty good roll. Has one more muster, enough to put Sauron to war. Only the one muster though, so a little lucky there. And an excellent roll for the Free People. 2 moves, a will, 2 hybrids. Yeah, that's a good start for Free People. They begin by moving. They're hit for 3. Well, by Gandalf. Legolas takes over the Fellowship. Sauron goes to war. Aragorn is a coward and runs to Eastamnet. Yeah, that is unfortunately a safe move here. Yep. Okay. Minas Morgul to South Ithilien and Morannon to Dagorlad. Yep. Gondor 1 towards war. All of this makes a ton of sense. Dagorlad to North Ithilien. Far-Harad to Near-Harad. Just collapsing in on Gondor. Osgiliath to Druid and Forest. And Minas Tirith to Osgiliath. What? Why? I guess the guy to... I'm not... Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. Pass. All right. Osgiliath is attacked from South Ithilien. No card. No Scouts. Interesting. But no hits from the Shadow. 1 hit from the Free People. They retreat to Minas Tirith. Are you going to recruit in Minas Tirith and do a field battle? I'm on board. MT. Yeah, field. All right. Okay, you've got a sudden strike, which is actually pseudo decent here. You could heroic death, although I don't think he will. Shadow doesn't have a lot. They could relentless assault, but at the cost of showing Day Without Dawn. Yeah, no card from the Shadow. A character card. The Challenge of the King. Sudden strike, 1 pre-hit. 2 hits for Shadow, which is perfect for the free people, and 3 hits for the free people. Yep. Press. See, and this is where I would get myself into trouble. I'd be like, he's just a 4-1-2. I probably won't die in this field battle. Almost certainly. And then I can keep mustering in Minas Tirith. I would keep doing field, even though I'm quite certain going under is the correct move. Okay, stay. Yeah, field battle. Dread and Despair, interesting. Okay. Forfeits to... okay, they're it's a friendly game. They meant to do cards. I'm totally on board with, and to back up just a sec, it is a tournament game, and it was marked as such on the ladder, but it is a friendly tournament game. And so they choose to allow the free people to play their heroic death. And there is another way. With the Fellowship having already been hit for quote-unquote 8 damage, with Aragorn, or with Strider, Boromir, and Gandalf all gone. So 2 hits for Shadow, 2 hits for free. They take just the leader rather than Boromir. That makes a ton of sense. Press with just 4 regulars and 2. Yeah, I think that makes sense actually to me. You risk losing a bunch of your leadership, but also you're just chipping away at a free people's army before it gets out of hand. On the downside, you only get 1 hit, and they only get 1 hit. It's not particularly good for you, and they stop. Yep. And now you can just muster right on back up. And now Minas Tirith is as strong as it ever was, and you've lost an entire stack. Oh man, that was great. Love it. Elven Ring is spent to stack Osgiliath and Umbar. Yep, makes sense. Do you stack Umbar here? I guess I don't know what else you'd do. Nirn to Gorgoroth. It seems extremely weak, or even move out from Dol Guldur. Yeah, that seems fine. All right. Horn of Gondor, hilariously, is drawn, although Mighty Attack is excellent here. Or has the potential to be just fine. Fear Fire Foes and a Shield Wall is great. The Shadow gets worn with Sorrow and Toil, and the King is revealed. Hey! King is revealed could be actually really good for Shadow here. They just lost so many units, and this is an instant restock with a Palantir. That's pretty cool. Actually, does Denethor's Folly, is it just a leader? Yeah, it just kills a leader, not a companion. All right. I'm so dumb. Miss Gandalf and Witch King 2 games. He should have played. Yeah, you could have ringed to get the Witch King in, and he missed Gandalf. That's true. They both did. Yeah, and I, as the commentator, also did. Hey, Interalda's field battles. Yep. 1 eye allocated. 1 more rolled. There's your musters. You'll get your... Okay, we get our Witch King and Gandalf. That the all is right with the world. A recruit into Pelargir and then a leader into Minas Tirith. That makes a fair amount of sense. We're going to hit a Minas Tirith. Yep, and this time he goes under. That makes thorough sense. Fellowship moves. Safe. Get the Witch King on top of Minas Tirith. Yep, that makes sense. Denethor's Folly. I'd be tempted to play King is Revealed here and then spend my army movements and or musters getting the Southrons to war, maybe even attacking Pelargir while there's not a lot of musters, so you can just stomp on all the free people mustering points in Gondor before they get stacked, before the Gondorian pool can be fully tapped out. Just get them under siege. You'll win eventually. Don't know. It does kill the leader in Minas Tirith, though. Gandalf the White comes in, attacking Minas Tirith. With what card? The Words of Power? I guess the Words of Power makes sense. Day Without Dawn is spent in battle. Interesting. For no hits. No. Okay, well, free people. Yes, Price, that is the correct response of ... Free people think. You gonna move again? Yeah, another move makes sense here, I think. And you're safe. A little bit lucky, but safe. Shadow musters Southrons towards war. Red arrow is played. That's fun. Man. Yeah, okay, that's fun. Umbar to West Horondor, and Rohan will answer. And North Ithilien to Osgiliath. I like that. Just block off some points here. Just one muster, and then you start walking through Pelargir and all the other Gondorian points. The free people are up to 6 dice, though, which is absolutely terrifying for me as Shadow. And they get I Will Go Alone, which they're not going to spend for that, but a Daring Defiance and Minas Tirith could matter quite a bit. And a Power 2 Great, which is a great card. Another red tile and Pits of Mordor. Those are actually really good cards for Shadow here. Between Pits and King is Revealed, and of course Pits is a good combat card. You can get a bigger stack in Moria or Gundabad and Dol Guldur and Minas Morgul for a reinforcement of the Minas Tirith battle. As Shadow here, I'd actually be hoping for quite a few Palantirs get these good cards out of my hand. 1 I allocated, 3 more rolled, only 1 attack. Okay, that's not quite what I would have been hoping for as Shadow. And by not quite, I mean not even remotely close. Okay. Fellowship has to move first, and they split off a Hobbit. That's not terrifying at all. Worn with Sorrow and Toil, I do not like that. There's only 3 companions left. Why not play King is Revealed here? Were you going to really use another Relentless Assault? Or even a red tile? Not a fan. He backs into Bree. I do think that is a mistake. You should go to the Shire in case you draw Book later. It makes it easier to play Book. But I guess he's available then to charge Moria. And the North goes straight to war. Southrons and Easterlings go to war. A Gondorian in Pelargir and a leader in Dol Amroth. Okay. Yeah, you have plenty of musters. Minas Tirith is attacked again with a desperate battle. Wow. This feels very scary. 3 hits versus 2 back. That's fairly lucky for... I'm kind of surprised no mighty attack. Oh, no card for... Because Denethor. Denethor's being an idiot despite his favorite son being home. Stop drawing to Shadows. Shadows on the Misty Mountains is great here. And importantly, it can be played with a muster. I wonder if that's why he played Worn with Sorrow and Toil. He's intending to use these muster dice to play King is Revealed. That can make sense. A regular in Pelargir and a regular in Dale. Okay. Start mustering up there. Isengard delete to Orthanc. Okay. Fellowship moves. Hit for an eye. Oof. That's rough for the Fellowship. They take the corruption through Moria. Moria tile is a 1, so okay, well that's not bad. King is Revealed is played, so that's good. A Gondor regular in Pelargir and a leader in Dale. Interesting. Okay. Draws into Thranduil's Archers and Hjorndark, so that's excellent. Shadow gets Nazgul Search and Orcs Multiplying again. Wow, you could have... you could overstack Dol Guldur with Pits. Oh, you spent Pits, but okay, Orcs Multiplying again. Still good because you haven't left Gundabad and Dol Guldur. Although I think the Shadow... Okay, they have plenty of regulars right now. Okay. Fellowship okay. 1 eye allocated. 2 more rolled. Still really low on the attacks for the free people, or for the Shadow. Free people has plenty of musters. I'm sure they're happy to use them. choose to hide first. Okay. Half the Southron army splits off to Osgiliath, and Minas Morgul moves out to South Ithilien, just containing Gondor, I guess. Can you use Aragorn to move Rohan down? No, he is not. Yeah, he does not have the cap. No, I don't think he's a. I don't think he can do that. I think that's a special capability of the captains rather than of multi-nation symboled characters. Fellowship moves with the Will of the West. It's hit for 2, so why are we killing it early? Okay, we kill Legolas. Yep. Okay. Palantir for Nazgul Search. Ah, that's kind of fun. I like that. So there's no declaring into Lorien. Okay. See, this is great. I love this. I love this sportsmanship here. Shadow let free people have their card late early, and now free people are letting Shadow have their Worn with Sorrow and Toil. So let's see what it hits. Horn of Gondor, probably the best. Rohan is manually mustered towards war, or thank musters. Something teleports somewhere. What are we doing here? I will go alone. Interesting. A hobbit. Whoa, a hobbit pops out into Westamnet? Okay, you're going to hybrid move to Westamnet in a hot second here. Osgiliath moves to Minas Tirith. I am a little interested here. I guess the final muster is intended to move Gondor towards war. So Iron Hills hops into Erebor, and Edoras joins Pippin. Wrong hobbit, but will not hold it against Price in Westamnet. Shadow attacks MT. Yep, that makes sense. It plays an Onslaught. Wow. Well, and good thing, too. No hits rolled for Shadow and 2 hits for free people. 4 Onslaught for 4 hits. Wow. Splat goes Minas Tirith. Wow. Okay, and then draws into a Deadly Strife. And actually, for the free people's the Gondor pool has enough to muster Dol Amroth to be a full stack. And that's about it, especially if you want to save any regulars for Dead Men of Dunharrow. So, actually, Gondor's not going to be able to make a giant death stack that goes and takes Mordor or whatever. Almost certainly. So that's cool. Rohan is manually moved to war, and Shadows on the Misty Mountains is played. Cool. But now Rohan's at war before Isengard moves out, which is pretty terrifying. Free people drawn to Athelas and the Last Battle. Could use some healing here, quite possibly. They're already at only -1 corruption, effective corruption. Shadow draws Balrog and Horde from the east. Lorien could be in some serious trouble with the Shadows on the Misty Mountains, plus Balrog, possibly plus fighting. Yeah. Also, want to shout out to TheFatHobbit. Those are some pretty ballsy plays on Minas Tirith, and that paid off. So good for him. 1 I allocated. 2 more rolled. Again, only 2 attacks though. Man, the free people get all these musters, and he knows Day Without Dawn isn't a thing. So, what do? Yeah, you hide. Okay. South Ithilien and Minas Tirith meet in Osgiliath, presumably to go a Viking through Gondor. Gondor leader in Pelargir and a regular in Westamnet. Thinking about it. I think it ended in Westamnet. Yes. Okay. Red tile goes in. Fellowship moves. I don't know. I wanted to start saying, oh, you have all these dice, go for a Free People's Military victory. And then I realized, where am I about to suggest that from? North, like Bree to the Mount Gundabad, but where's your other two? Yeah, you got to keep moving the Fellowship. So, Fellowship safe. Another Palantir for another red tile. That's good. Elite in Pelargir chooses to do a fighting withdrawal from Pelargir rather than just stack Dol Amroth. That's interesting. Also, choosing to muster in Gondor rather than in Rohan is a little interesting to me. Especially since Orthanc just mustered again. An elite in Westamnet. Okay. An elite in Orthanc. Power 2 raid is played. That makes a ton of sense. I don't think that moves the elves. Yeah, it doesn't move the elves to South Rune, that's for sure. Pelargir is attacked from Osgiliath. Interesting, just gonna beat down the door. Do you play a Deadly Strife here? I kind of feel like you do. Maybe you wait for a field battle. That makes sense. Valor is played. Okay. Oof, 3 hits from Shadow, even with through the city defenses, and 3 hits back, but Shadow will take a trade all day long. Leaves a guy in Osgiliath, presumably to start protecting from Path of the Woses. I would, in fact, leave another guy there to help facilitate that kind of stuff, since you have 6 guys in West Trondor you can move in. And we're into the next round. Up, there's Book, so yep. Don't you wish Mary was in the Shire? Although at this point, you're in danger of giving Shadow a really early mouth. Sort of. Not really. And another Ents is drawn. Ents Rage. Shadow eats Wormtongue. A little late for Wormtongue. And Monsters Roused. Another Desperate Battle is excellent for them. The Fellowship declares with Aragorn. Nice little visit. See him again. 1 eye allocated. None rolled. But again, pretty low on attacks. Only 4 attacks on the 8 dice. And the Fellowship gets, or the Free Peoples gets a decent assortment. Not enough to get Mordor. Begins by mustering in Lossarnach, so that's annoying. And a leader in Westamnet. Okay. That's an interesting thing. Leaders are really, really good, but it's always so hard to find time for them in a normal game. But if it's kind of like adding a full combat dice. Either you hit on the combat roll, in which case you didn't get the bonus combat dice and it was fine, or you miss on the combat roll and it's a full extra combat die. So I like and in addition to empowering sudden strikes and similar heroic deaths and similar like that. So I like that. Do we attack? We attack Lossarnach. Yep, from Pelargir. Just he plays Book. I would save that for Lambadon. Yeah. Yep. The exact same thing happened there. All right. Excellent. No card. 1 hit each. Boom goes the dynamite. Yep. Free People muster in Westamnet. An elite in Westamnet. Have you tapped out the Gondorian pool? He's saving 1 elite and 1 regular. I like saving 1 regular so you have the possibility of dead men. Although 1 regular is a very, very weak dead men. Interesting. Okay. Undoes the elite. Undoes everything. Moves the Fellowship. Okay. Fellowship moves and is safe. Shadow kills Wormtongue. And kills Return to Valinor to kill Power 2 Great. Interesting. You killed your Deadly Strife rather than your fighting Uruk-hai? Interesting. Okay. Spirit of Mordor. Do we even have a place where that can be played? Is that in Pelargir? That's hilarious. Pelargir. Yeah. 2 hits. And actually, that Shadow Army, like, really doesn't have a whole lot spare. It's very soon going to need reinforcements before it can meaningfully take Dol Amroth safely. North Dunland to Moria and West Rondor to Pelargir, so a 7-1-5 to take 7 regulars and probably an elite. At some point, there's the last regular and Rohan leader in West Net. Move to Druid and Forest, so no Path of the Woses. Although, honestly, Rohan could just go take Minas Tirith manually from Westamnet. You've got 2 musters. Put those into Helm's Deep. Although you don't have that many elites left. You have 2 elites left. Put them both into Helm's Deep. And then just go take Gondor. And or Mordor. Dol Guldur moves out. Pass. Drawing to Shadow is moving. That's a good card. Musters an elite in Isengard, so that's the entire Isengard force pool of elites, 4, 6, 7. Rohan elite in Helm's Deep. The Oliphant factory starts up. Shout out to Generic Pie. A regular in Helm's Deep and a regular in Dale. Okay, you're about to be tapped out on the Rohan pool. You want to start getting those regulars. Okay, that's fine. I approve. Fords of Eisen. Ah, okay. Really? Now is when we say go, not after we put Lorien under siege? Okay. No. Lamadon. Okay. No scouts. What were they spent as? They were spent as Red Arrow and Spirit of Mordor, so no scouts here. Desperate battle versus advantageous position, so perfect play by free people. 1 hit by Shadow. 3 hits? Not with advantageous, it's not. Hello? Wait. No. Yes. Draw. That is a mistake. The 4s were not hits because of the advantageous position. Oh, the reroll, because it's advantageous is only on the combat roll. These guys are better at this game than I am. All right. He does stop and draw. Yep, no free. Don't give him a free half move back into Dol Amroth. And you draw into Musterings of a Long Plan War, another Desperate Battle. Excellent. So, where are we at? Fellowship is 3 moves from Mordor. Gondor is going to fall, but not quickly. You're really going to be looking for Corsairs to make that happen. And that's it for Shadow. Lorien's in some pretty serious danger. Power 2 Great's already been played. Even if he gets Celeborn's, that's going to be way plenty to take Lorien. So Shadow's at a very soft 5 points, maybe 7 in a bit. But where are your last points coming from? Rohan, a fully mustered Rohan? And even if you do, they could just go backwards and recapture Gondor. And do with the North at war before you've even started moving that way is very dangerous. And the elves will be at war if you take Lorien. And they haven't even Corsairs, or not Corsairs, Círdan's, so that the elven force pool is in fact bigger than the Rohan and Gondor force pools put together. All right. Mirror of Gladriel. Not super helpful. Heroic Death, maybe. Dane Ironfoots, that's good. Make sure Erebor doesn't get sneak conquered by the Easterlings. Shadow draws New Powers Rising and Nazgul Strike. Normally, New Powers Rising is amazing, but actually, since you've manually mustered all the elites, maybe not. Maybe you just go throw some elites into combat and then magic them back into existence. What do you throw here? Do you throw the Balrog just because you have enough to take Lorien anyway? Fellowship declares. Kills Musterings of a Long Plan War. Kills a Desperate Battle. Okay. That makes sense. 1 eye allocated, none more rolled. That's a much more like what Shadow was looking for. 2 musters and a Palantir is not amazing, but 3 musters and a Palantir. Okay, it's okay for Shadow. And 1 billion moves for the free people. So Hobbits are going to make Mordor. 1 move, they're safe. Consolidate in Dimmeldale. Move, safe. Lorien goes under. Move, safe. Wow, that was a lot of moves. I'm assuming we're Nazgul striking here. We're fighting Uruk-hai over Lorien. That makes sense. With Durin's Bane as the first card. 1 hit pre. You don't kill everybody just yet. 1 hit from Shadow, 2 hits from free. We'll take that all day long. Round 2, no card, no card. No hits from Shadow, no hits from free. Round 3, no card, no card. 2 hits from Shadow, none from free. Press, no card, no card. Hit, splat goes Lorien. So, yeah, with a 6-2-3 still left to go take Rohan. So if nothing else changes, you have a 6-2-3, a 4-6-7 to go kill Rohan, and a 4-1-5 to finish off Gondor. It can do it, but it's going to be slow, and you better hope Rohan doesn't go take Minas Tirith. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a tough one for Shadow here. And indeed, Westamnet goes to fold, but Dol Amroth goes to Lamadon. I'm not feeling that second half. The Witch... Oh, okay. He's scared of dead men, which is a very reasonable response. So the Witch King retreats to his Gileath. Fold creates a regular, and Helm's Deep creates a regular. The Umbar Oliphant Factory continues to do its thing. And now we're just in full out scared of a Free People's Military victory. I don't know. A regular in Moran and a regular in Minas Morgul. I guess you have these musters. What are you going to use them on? The Oliphant Factory again. Okay, I like that. That's fine enough. I don't like... Okay, so the Free People's thinking, I'm at hand limit. I have a character I don't want to move again, although he is risking cruel weather. I guess he just feels ultra safe, even if he loses a round of not going anywhere. So he's going to burn 2 Ents, presumably. He gets 2 hits on the first one. There's the other Ents, 2 hits there. So just reduce the Shadow Army. I would have definitely taken 2 elites there as Shadow, knowing I am holding New Powers Rising. And then he Athelas for the 1. So, great. You got an Nazgul strike here, though, right? Yeah. Okay. Shuffle our Nazgul around. We stick 1 in Umbar, a couple in his Gileath, 1 in Lorien, and the Witch King with the Doom stack in Orthanc. Now that Gandalf has spent 2 Ents, it's almost certain that he doesn't have a third, and certainly you can leave Orthanc a little lighter safely. Like this, and he misses. Oh, he hits. Hits? Shouldn't it be... It's for 6s if it's the first move, 5s, 4s, 3s. Okay, yeah, okay. But a 1 no reveal. What was the chances of a no reveal there? Really low. I mean, really low. 4 out of 15, 12 numbers. So Free People lucked the heck out there. Although with 3 eyes still in the pool, there was a fair chance of a reveal into an eye. But this is a pretty friendly pool for the Fellowship here. There is going to be 2 reds, though. through a day and a night, and the last end. So that could be a bit of a surprise for Shadow, since they know the Free People didn't have, or pretty strong, suspect very strongly, the Free People did not have an end 3 hot seconds ago. Also, now that I'm saying it out loud, it was an excellent choice to play those ends while Worn with Sorrow and Toil is in play. Get those out of your hand while you can use them. Shadow gets Lidless Eye and Storm Crow. Yep, those are cards. 2 eyes in. Yeah, this is a pretty friendly pool. It's going to be very slow going, but a pretty friendly pool. 1 eye allocated. 2 more rolled. And again, really low attacks for Shadow. Oof. Okay. Very varied roll for the Free People. They choose to retreat to Dol Amroth. Yeah, you left it completely open. If he has Corsairs, that could be really problematic. And takes Pelargir. I'm not quite getting this Gondor move out. New Powers Rising is played. Restack Orthanc and Dunlands. Yep. Okay. Maybe I was miscounting earlier. No, you had plenty of regulars. Elite into Pelargir. Nope. Regular in Fold and regular in Helm's Deep. That makes a ton of sense to me. Mouth comes in Minas Morgul. Really feeling the +8 M's. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Rohan Elite and Fold. So that's what, the entire Rohan pool? That is the last Rohan unit. There's only 1 Gondorian Elite left. And that includes leaders. A 4/4/4 with a Hobbit. Going to go stab themselves a Witch King. Just like the movies. And the books. Fords of Eisen is attacked. Okay, it's apparently go time. Character card versus nothing. Just cycling for the Lidless Eye. 1 hit for Shadow. 1 hit for free. 2 hits for free. Leaves 2 regulars behind. There is 1 ent left. Shadow draws into a Zielder's Bane. That could do some serious damage. Fellowship moves. 0 reveal. Kind of good, but also kind of not. It's really going to keep them nice and slow. Helm's Deep goes under and pops the extra regular back in the force pool so they can recruit that somewhere at Arras. Thinks about life, hides the Fellowship. Mouth allows an attack of Helm's Deep. Strategy card versus strategy card. Deadly Strife versus Daylight. Name a more iconic duo. And 3 for Shadow. 3 for free. So that's a rough roll for the Free People. So there's a press draw. Hang on. Okay, too many casualties. They're thinking about who. 1 too many. Okay, apparently. I'm glad people are paying attention. But wait. Took 3. You took down. Okay. All right, press draw. Gets Hill Trolls. Okay. Perfect. Strategy card versus character card. Is this the ends? It is. He chooses. I don't know, man. The +2 hits on the Shadow Army here does not feel nearly as fun to me as a shot at Saruman. And you have a Palantir left. Although maybe he's going to through a day and a night with the Rohan army. Ooh. To where? Dead Marshes? Interesting. We'll see what happens. 3 hits for Shadow, so there goes Rohan. But 5 hits back for free. Unfortunately, it's just a little too late. Helm's Deep falls. Free People through a day and a night. From Fold to Fords. threatening to kill Saruman manually. Shadow is moving his blade to move both Dunland south, Parth Celebrant south, or Lorien south, and South Rune west. I like all of that. I actually overall like that play for free people. It's kind of a little bit wacky. I think they should then take Helm's Deep rather than Orthanc and just play the delay game. You need probably 2 more rounds for Frodo to dunk, but I think you can make it happen. Shadow's up full on dice though. Free people get Mighty Attack and Wisdom of Elrond. Actually, Axe and Bow theoretically could be played for effect here. Shadow gets Breaking of the Fellowship and Isildur's Bane. I wonder if you pivot. It feels like pivoting to Corruption is not your best move here. Hold a sec. All right, we're back. Oleg High could be good in his Gileath, but do you risk a Path of the Woes again at this point? I don't know. Feels like we're in kind of a wacky scenario here. Free people okay. 1 eye allocated. None more rolled. So a good turn for running, but also a good turn for just killing them. And only 2 moves for the free people. Couple musters, but as we've mentioned, the force pools are pretty tapped out. Begins with I was gonna say, he's beginning with a move. Oh yeah, attack Helm's Deep. That makes sense. Leaves a regular in Fords, excuse me. Witch King pops over to Parth Celebrant. And then we kind of shuffle some guys. One Nazgul over to the South Rune army that is in, Ash Mountains apparently is the name of that region. I do pretty good. I have this map mostly memorized, but Ash Mountains is not a region I get to say in these casts very often. And the mouth moves to his Gileath. Okay. Helm's Deep is attacked. No card, no card. There's the 2 hits for free people and none taken. So Helm's Deep is stacked. Parth Celebrant to Fangorn, gonna go visit their wizard buddy. As Gileath or Orthanc is stacked from Gap of Rohan. What are you thinking about here, bud? Yeah, move the Fellowship. Do it before he puts another red in. He rolls, he misses, except it's Mordor, so that's not how that works. Another eye. I think you just take the 1 corruption here. There's no reason to take Gimli. Dual upgrade in Orthanc. I presume he had a muster that he had a spare muster, so why not? Fords from Fangorn makes sense. Confusion is played, does a bonus hit. Didn't really matter, but he did it. A regular in Helm's Deep to allow a more safe field battle, and a regular in Dale because he has nothing else worth mustering. Fords or Orthanc to Fords, leaving only 1 regular behind. Because all 3 Ents have been played now, he has no longer need to protect against that. And near Harad Umbar, I would presume that's because he had nothing better to do with his life. He's certainly threatening Corsairs. If you can get some good cycles out of the Witch King on Rohan, that'd be good. But boy, a 6/4/8 is just barely enough to take a 4/4/4, I would say, in Rohan. It is a fair amount of Warg rerolls. So if Gandalf pops in, you're not too dead, but Fellowship passes. Helm's Deep is attacked. Field! Yay! Strategy card. I think this is going to be one of the We Come to Kills. Probably Oleg High versus Heroic Death. It's Hill Trolls. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Versus Heroic Death. 5 hits for Shadow and 2 for free. Oof is indeed correct. And the post for only 1. Okay. Still, a 4-4-4 is now a 3-2-3. That was not how it went in the Free People player's head. We get Shadow's Gather for the Shadow player, which is actually quite good. That could really make a difference in a Dol Amroth attack from Asgiliath/Umbar. What are we doing here? Helm's Deep is attacked. Okay. The other we come to kill. Yep. Versus Valor. Okay. Free People, Shadow gets 2 hits. Free People get 3. Decent trades. Post for 4. Man, gets a bonus 1. Press and draw. Okay. Into Shadow lengthens. Man, just not hitting that Corsairs. Really would have loved a Corsairs here. Only 6 cards left in the deck. No card for Shadow? Really? You're not playing a card as Shadow, but you didn't spend the turn to the priority to play Breaking or Azildur's while the Fellowship was revealed. Because I'm not feeling that. Mighty Attack is played. 2 hits for Shadow, 4 hits for free. Still plenty, only 2 regulars left in the Siege, but no more presses left for Shadow. And the Gondor pools, or the Rohan pool's tapped, right? Yeah, the Rohan pool is 100% tapped, so now you don't have to worry about a lot of things. Fellowship hides. Azildur's Bane for an eye. Ooh, that's not good for the Free People. Oh, wait, except it's a card. So that's not how that works. Let's ignore that. Don't mind me. An Elven Ring move for the Free People. That's absolutely what I think you do here. You need to dunk next round. The Shadow has enough stuff. It is certainly threatening Corsairs, even if they don't have it. The Shadow almost certainly has this game next round. You do hit another eye for a 2 reveal, so I guess Gimli's gone for Efficient. Worn with Sorrow and Toil for free have 0 cards. And they kill Worn with Sorrow and Toil, which is not technically correct, but it's totally fine. This is base game. Mouth is flipped to attack Helm's Deep. Sure. Yep, that makes sense. Do you play a card? Nope. Character art. Oh yeah, cycle that card. That's fine. Forfeit 1. There's 2 hits. Splat goes Pippin. Man, Helm's Deep is wacky sometimes, right? Sometimes you throw a 4 regular 6 Warg army against a 4/1/1 in Helm's Deep, and somehow it all dies. And then you have this giant death stack of Rohan, and just poof, gone. Draws into Phlox, which is, as they say, not helpful. And we get to the next round. Smeagol Helps Nice Master is a good card for free, as is not Guards of the Citadel. Yep. Lure of the Ring and Half Orcs and Goblin Men. That's a pretty clutch draw for Shadow. If literally nothing else, it's a cyclable strategy card. Although both the Mumakils were, I guess. 1 eye allocated. Okay, so will Shadow get enough dice to win? 6 attacks with an Elven Ring. I would suspect that's enough, but it's not spare. And the Palantir's for Shadow Gather. So that's enough. Yeah. And now you don't have to worry about Path of Woes or anything. And the Free People do not get enough to dunk. Okay, if you hide, move without getting revealed, and then Elven Ring with no reds and no reveals, it's enough. And you have Palantirs to put in your -1. He doesn't need to spend his Will of the West because he knows Day Without Dawn is gone. He draws a character card. There and Back again is not what he was looking for. I'm assuming he's looking for, another blue tile because he already spent There's Another way early on. Shadow draws a character card. Yep, that makes sense. Gets Ringwraiths or Abroad. That's huge for Shadow. He doesn't have any character dice and definitely doesn't want to spend his ring on it. Ringwraiths or Abroad or Black Captain Commands were both going to be excellent here, and he got it. Draw into Wizard Staff for the free people. That's not helpful. Hybrid, what are we doing here first? Ringwraiths or Abroad? Yes, I agree with this. Trying to think if there's a more efficient way to do this, but I don't think it really matters. We attack Pelargir with a character card. I mildly disagree. I would cycle the strategy card Shadow Lengthens, since that's the one you need less. But whatever, I'm not going to get too stuck on that. 1 hit, 2 hits for Shadow, 3 hits for free. Press. They retreat to Lamedon. That is the only reasonable option, I suspect. Draw into a red tile. And they have Palantirs to spare. Fellowship hides. Yep, put that red tile right on. And, I was so certain the Fellowship the Free Peoples had this well in hand. And now it's going to be a tight game. It certainly looks a little Shadow favored at this point, to me. Blue tile goes in. Have to move to West Ammonite, and Ash Mountains to Daggerlad, because why not? Actually, because then that can Shadow Lengthens in as well, or Gather. I always mix up Lengthens and Gather. It doesn't really matter which army. I would bring the Umbar army. It's just more hit points, but whatever. He takes Edoras. Yep. Fellowship moves. All right. For all the cookies. It's a 3. Yep, we take it. So he has to hit a not red next move. So that was a big draw. So that was he passed. He needed to not hit the eye or any of the reds. So he passed a 4 out of 12. Or whatever the opposite of that is. 8 out of 12. So 2/3 chance, not terrible. And now he has to pass a 3 out of 11. Inverse, but yeah. Shadow Lengthens, cool. Oh, yeah, that's the much better way of doing that. Ye Ginormous Death Stack. But this is where the game is really almost certainly decided, unless that stack for some magic reason rolls only 1s for the rest of the game. And here we go. Here's the last ring move. It's the red 3. No! Oh, no. I'm a little surprised he doesn't reveal to take less corruption, but whatever. Lamedon's attacked. No card. Shadow only gets 1. I was counting for the wrong person. Apparently, Shadow gets 2. Put DA under. You have 1 attack, but you have a billion pushes. No card. We Come to Kill is an excellent card here. And the Shadow wins. Oh, man. What a game. Thank you to Price and TheFatHobbit for submitting this game and playing this game. An 11-turn entire Free Peoples. I guess one Gondorian elite was Sir not appearing in this game. But excellent game played by both players. Thank you. And some excellent field battles. Thank you all for watching. I will reiterate, this was not necessarily the winner of their best of 3. So we'll see who advances into the finals to play against the winner of the other semifinal. And I'll see y'all for that one. Bye.